Hey everyone, welcome to Community Group today. Hope you're having a good day. I'm Pastor Ranjo and I have a couple questions to help guide your discussion tonight. So let's jump right in. This Sunday we continued in our series called Basic-ation and we talked about justification. And Pastor Jason preached out of Romans chapter 3 verses 21 to 26, where Paul, writing to the Romans, is trying to explain what justification means. He says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And that's true for us too. We have all sinned in our lives and possibly or probably still have some form of sin. And that sin comes with consequences, one of which is separation from God. Because God is holy, God is just, and He can't just ignore that there is sin in our lives. And so to heal us or to redeem us, Jesus took the burden of that sin, paid the price for that sin, and now God can look at us as righteous and holy. And so He can commune with us and He can come in and begin the renovation process in our lives, healing us and cleansing us of all that sin. And so the process of being declared by God as righteous and innocent is called justification. And that brings us to our main point, which is our renovation begins with God's life-changing declaration. That declaration is that we are justified. And so there's no more separation between God and us. And so I've got a couple questions to help kickstart your discussion. The first, our fun question for tonight, has to do with hoarding. Pastor Jason started with a video about hoarding, and in that video, the the person helping the person who was hoarding was trying to help them get rid of a can of sardines which had cat pee on it or reeked of cat pee. And so your question is, what is the strangest or even grossest thing that you have ever eaten? Go ahead and share some stories and have some fun. So our second question is centered around that passage. Would you take a minute to read the passage together? That's Romans 3, chapter 21, or Romans chapter 3, verses 21 to 26. Go ahead and read that passage together. Before you do that, take some time to pray and ask the Holy Spirit to bless your time of sharing. And then after you read that passage, would you share how you relate to it? In other words, what thoughts do you have about that passage? Maybe you have questions, or maybe you just have a thought that pops into your head that helps you understand the passage, or just something that you think about as you read that passage. Would you go ahead and share those thoughts and have a discussion about justification? Finally, a third question, and let this question lead into prayer. Is there anyone in your life who you know needs to be justified? That person could be you, or it could be a friend, a relative, someone you know at work. If there's someone who you know, if God's putting them on your heart, you know they need to be justified by God, would you go ahead and share a little about them in your group, and then after all of you have shared, why don't you go ahead and begin to pray for those people and allow that to close your time? Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great time. God bless.